Hi guys, welcome back. So I made a change. We're gonna take this area into this. Small change, but huge impact. So what we're doing today, we're removing the rocks and we're also gonna stabilize the bench. So by removing the rocks, I am thinking safety for my children. As many of you know, I have 4 little ones that love to play and run around in the garden space. They love to sit at this bench. So to make it more safe and not hazardous with the rocks for them tripping over the rocks, I decided that I'm going to remove the rocks and open it up and put in a pathway leading towards the bench, which I thought was an amazing idea and I think looked pretty decent. Here I'm just explaining to my handy dandy helper, my husband, that the bench is crooked and according to the leveler it is not leveled, so we just need to tilt it back a little bit, lift up the legs, make it a little more elevated and stabilized, because when we do sit on the bench it tends to sink in the soil and also wobble just a little bit. Right here he's just scraping away like 1 inch or so of soil just to rest the pavers in. Now this soil that we brought in is somewhat compacted already, but when it does rain and we sit on the bench, with our heavy weight and the bench, it kind of sinks into the soil a little bit. So by putting them on pavers, it stabilized the weight and the legs won't consistently or constantly sink down into the soil. So initially the bench was a little bit crooked, on the right was a little bit high, so he went back scraping away more soil just to reset the pavers and put the legs back on just to make sure that it is leveled. And voila. So according to the leveler, it's about 99.99999% leveled, and I'm okay with that. You will never get 100% out of anything. So even if you got it 100% the first time, after time, over time things change and things shift. So here we are just covering up the pavers with the soil, which I'm also going to do with mulch once we mulch this area. And this bed is pretty deep. Now I could have went back even further with the bench, but I did not want to do that. I have plans to plant a humongous limelight behind this bench, and I just want it to be just big and beautiful in between those obelisks. It's gonna be gorgeous. Here I'm just removing the rocks to open up the space. So I would say this area is about 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet in width. And the plan is to curve the rocks inside the bed. We're gonna bring the rocks inside the bed, make it look like a retainer wall. And then it is also gonna look like the rocks disappeared underneath the soil. That's the look I was going for, instead of looking like it just abruptly stopped. So I did not just want to leave this area open and no rocks inside of the bed. It just looked unfinished, unpolished, like my thought process wasn't complete. So I was like, you know what, let's just bring the rocks inside the bed, and that also shows my children and whoever else come to visit the garden, like, this is a pathway. You can clearly tell this is a pathway leading towards the bench where you can have a seat and just relax, enjoy the view, listen to the noise in the city, the trains, maybe a shootout here and there, you never know, the sirens, the helicopters, all of that. So this is where we are right now, and I love it. I love the rocks on the side. Once we backfill in everything in here, it's gonna look seamless. It's gonna look so nice. So now we have an opening. They won't trip. They know this is a walkway. Next, my husband decided to kind of bury the stepping stones just a little bit as well, which I loved. Love the idea. So that's what we're doing here. He's just scraping away 1 inch or 2 of soil and just sink the stepping stones in to make it a little bit more flawless. However, after we got everything done, I realized it's crooked. It is not 100% straight. We did not put out a line. We did not line anything up. Yeah, you see how it's like verging off to the left? It's not perfectly in the center of the bed. Now, am I going to lift it out and move it? No, because it's not bothering me, because once all the plants are in and spilling over the rocks and just creeping into the walkway, who's going to be thinking about that? Not me. So don't let it bother you, okay? All right, now it's planting time. We have 2 hydrangeas. Now I could not decide. Here on the left, we have a flare hydrangea. It's a beautiful hydrangea. It reminds me of Pinky Winky by the Panicles. It gets about 2.5 to 3 feet at maturity. It is gorgeous. Look at the color. So in the summertime, it's a bicolor. It's like almost reminiscent of vanilla strawberry hydrangea with the cream at the top and the strawberry red pink at the bottom. And then in fall, you get this nice, dark, beautiful color, right? On the right, we have a Bobo in container. Now they were in this container since last season, so I could not decide. Do I want to plant the Bobos or do I want to plant the flare? But if I plant the Bobos, do I want to keep it in container or do I want to put it in ground? All day recording this video, I was just like overwhelmed trying to figure out the plans, because I know for a fact I wanted to plant these Dolce Truffles Heuchera. Look at the color, look at the leaves, look at the variegation, look at the texture it will bring to the space. You know, I love the color. So my only drawback with planting the flare hydrangea was that they would clash eventually in fall. So once the flare started to change its color, the colors here would clash, and that's the only reason why I could not decide if I wanted to plant the flares or not. But with the Bobo Hydrangea, Bobos, they get about 3 feet tall as well and about 4 feet wide. They are a creamy white color that aged to a blush pink, and I think the pink and the red burgundy would look amazing, right? Like, don't you agree? I just feel like right here they would clash, the fall color and the color of the Heucheras. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go with the Bobo Hydrangeas, which I think is a great idea, a great choice. Then here comes the hard part. So the Bobo will look amazing if I left it in a container, like a big ball, just high up, look amazing, spilling over close to the bench will look nice, right? I'm like, maybe I should keep it in a container underplanted with these Heucheras, because I know for a fact I want these Heucheras right here. But then I was like, I don't know how that would look if I put the Bobos in ground. I don't know, because the terracotta and the bench are giving off the same color vibe for now, because the bench is not yet painted, which we're going to do a bright color to give that tropical feel in a way. And I just could not decide, you know what I'm saying? It's like pot or no pot. Then I was like, you know what, let me bring in another terracotta pot with another Bobo, just to see how it will look, just to see if it's going to give me the feel. Like, is it going to come to me? Will it look right? But yet I still could not decide, do I want the pot or no pot? And these are the things that I do in my garden. I bring things in, I leave them for days, then I come back. I might even leave the pot for days, come back. But today, on this particular day when I was recording this video, I just could not decide. It looks great. I love the texture. I love the movements of the Heucheras, but the pots are throwing me off, you know? I don't know if it's because they're the same color as the bench, but I love the elevation with the pots. I love that, but I just cannot decide. And then the rest of the bed would be like wild and free, you know, like a cottage garden, like how a cottage garden looks. But right here, I want it to be a resting area, not only for the body, but for the eyes, you know. This is the area of rest where you can sit, enjoy the garden, and just relax, while everything else will be wild and crazy, overgrown with beautiful, bright colors everywhere. So I was like, you know what, let me just plant these Heucheras, and then the hydrangea information, it will come to me. It will come to me eventually, and we'll figure it out. So I just started to plant the Heucheras, get them in ground. Now this auger that I'm using, the bit itself, it's 5 inches, and that's better for annuals, and which I am learning. So to plant these 1 gallon container, I need a 7-inch auger. Now they are not cheap. So Mother's Day is coming up, so I'm gonna collect on that, you know, have my hubby buy me that as a gift. You know, I have to collect because the budget, which we will discuss in another video. I don't know when, but we will discuss the budget. I love it already. I love it already. By the way, these Heucheras, they are sun or shade, and as you can see, the one right here on the far right needs to go over a little bit more. It's a little bit too close, but guys, I love it. I love the way it looks. And then the walkway is going to be inviting with mulch, and right here I'm thinking to do like a short drift of lamb's ear. I love that silvery color against that area. Is going to be gorgeous. And then in this little corner, I can always pop in like a super tuner or something to give me instant color and a dramatic look, just flowing over. Even a potato vine just flowing over in the walkway, look amazing. And then to the left of everything, start planting taller things, medium things and then get to larger things, I think it's going to look amazing. And do the same thing on the right side as well. It's going to look gorgeous. So now I'm deciding, all right, let's plant these hydrangeas. I do not have a drill bit that can dig humongous holes, so I'm just gonna have to do it the old school way. I'm gonna have to put these muscles to work, and that's exactly what I did. So here I am with my little measuring tape. So Bobos get about 4 feet in width. So from the center, if you break it down from the center, on one side is going to get 2 feet wide and on the other side is going to get 2 feet wide. So I was just measuring just to make sure that it will not overcrowd these heucheras. But with gardening and anything in life, changes do happen, and eventually I might have to move a few things around, and that is perfectly fine. The good thing about Bobos, they grow kind of upright. In a way, their stems goes up instead of like all the way out, so which is great. And I am loving this look. I mean, the walkway is throwing me off a little bit with the little crookedness, you know, especially the one at the bottom. And I need to re-edge the grass, but once I mulch, re-edge, and maybe change the stones, I am loving it. It is slowly coming together. So we got the first shrubs and perennials in the space, and I have plenty more to plant. We still need to paint the obelisk. We still need to paint the bench. But I am loving everything that's happening in this space, friends. I honestly think that by opening up the space and putting in the path leading towards the bench, it looks 1,000 times better. Don't you agree? I love it. I really, really do. Well, that's it for today, folks. I'm loving it. And I'm just, you know, these are the things that brings me joy. I'm just so happy to be in my garden. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my other video. Bye.